Oh, hi. I found a good reason to be a 2-year-old, which is something that I live for. So my sweet old little granny decided to call me first thing in the morning. Now you can imagine how I responded to this. Yes. What do you mean there are people outside? Well, what exactly do you want me to do? It is a free country. They're allowed to be outside. I understand that Donald Trump is president, but he can't stop me from being outside. Why do I have to get up and go talk to the people outside? What do you mean they may be important? Just because there are people outside in this neighborhood, they have to be important? So I went outside and had a conversation with these people. This is what I experienced when I went outside. So you're
Joe.
Pam.
You're Mike.
Skip Styles. I'm with Wetlands Watch.
Okay.
So these are Spartina alterniflora. They're wetland plants that get wet
Twice a day.
in the high tide. They're coming out of dormancy from winter. The blade is flat on them, and then just above that is Spartina patens, and that only gets wet at like nor'easters and stuff.
So that's going to be like what all that stuff is out there?
That happens to be black needle rush. You're so lucky because you can't plant and make it grow. It occurs naturally. That up there, the prettiest one of all, is the evil stuff. The one with the plumes on it.
Right.
That's called Phragmites. People call it frag. Yeah, with the pretty oxtail on top. Phragmites australis. That is really invasive, like bamboo. However, see this? It looks similar to it.
Right there?
But a looser stems on the top.
Okay.
That's called Spartina sinusories, and that's really good stuff.
Where were you when I was in science class?
Most
Come on down.
favorite delicious salad bar item that a goose can get. Here's the Spartina alterniflora just kind of trying to pop up.
So this is like a very unusual where you have what we call high marsh plants that don't like to get wet all the time mixed in with Spartina alterniflora.
See the pretty round blade? So it'll get real flowy in summer. It's beautiful.
And you see the periwinkles down here?
The little snails.
Oh, right there?
They climb up and down the blades of these grasses and they scrape off the algae and eat it.
Tell
Wow.
them about the oyster reef.
So the oyster reef is 1 acre. It goes all the way out and it goes all the way down to the
Yeah, let's
other
get
side. It's all made out of concrete and shell.
What that stuff is right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if I can step on. Yeah, look at that. There's a bunch of oyster shell out here. And we created this reef. Between the reef and the marsh are these blocks. And the idea of the blocks is they cut down the waves. So the waves break out here rather than up on the marsh. Also, the periwinkles are crawling up and down and they're eating the algae off of it.
There's more to the story that Joe didn't tell you. Do you know the new Midtown Tunnel?
Yes.
Skanska people that helped work on it
Right.
came to me and said, hey, we got all this extra concrete. I think it'd be great for oyster restoration. So I had a volunteer that worked concrete precast with his dad. So he spent years developing a mold.
Is that what that thing is right there?
So he built this in a garage with no power tools, and we went to Midtown Tunnel site, and when they had a cement truck come in, they'd call us, and we'd make these oysterbergs over here. Meanwhile, HRSD, who processes our sewage and wastewater, they heard about the oysterberg, and while they were upgrading their plant, they built 119 of these. So we installed those as an outreach as part of a water quality conference. Meanwhile, down there, you'll see the shape of them slightly changes again. So where do they change the castles?
These are the type of things. So those are amphipods that are living in there. See them crawling?
Oh, wow.
See how those are a little different looking? Those are called oyster castles.
There's a hole in between there.
Yeah, you like water flushing?
Okay.
So that fishies can come in, and
Okay.
because 300 species of marine life live on oyster reefs, so you want an exchange of fresh water.
So is this why they were out here with the little cranes and things?
So they, with the cranes and the barge, they put the oyster shell down for that oyster
Okay.
reef. And then with people, we built all the structures.
Does that sign have anything to do with this?
Yeah, that's marking the oyster reef so a boat doesn't come and run into it.
Perfect.
Recast, made out of concrete with shell.
But they
embedded
mix
in,
oyster shell
like
in
dead oyster shell.
Right.
And it's stackable, so it's like Legos. And what happens is you put them out, you can see here, look at all these oysters.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Oyster, 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 oyster.
Let me take a picture.
I'm back out here because Joe had a shell in his hand. I didn't catch it because, I messed up. You should mark that down, kids. I don't admit that often because it doesn't happen that often. I came back out here, which is highly for me. I don't know what they teach you in history class, but just because black folk escaped through the wilderness don't mean they like playing in it. Let me see. Maybe I can go out here. I don't know if I should dig my hand in this water or not. Joe, we're going to have to re-show the people.
So those are amphipods.
But while I'm out here, let's have a little conversation. When I was a kid, they used to say, come sit underneath the learning tree. But now I'm so awesome, I get to sit on it. So this goes out to all the kids, whether you're in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, or you're just at home surfing the internet for, well, we know what you're looking for. That is not a substitute for anatomy and biology. I don't care what you tell yourself. Science is fun nowadays. There's actually so many fights going on, it's better than UFC. The only thing we talked about in science class was how the earth was created. And the only thing interesting about that conversation was the fact the teacher was so old, he was probably there when the earth was created. You get to come down and play in the water. When I was a kid, only white kids play in the water. Not because they were racist, because black people didn't want to get their hair messed up. But now it's all a weave. You can take it out whenever you get ready. Evolution, baby! I did tell you I was being two today, right? Yeah, condition normal, you don't care. All right, going in. There's a crab. I ain't gonna put my hand on it because he look like he can fight. Then again, I put my hand on my ex-girlfriend, so why not? Oh, God. Yep. So I hope you've enjoyed my little adventure today. If you'll excuse me, starting to remember what it felt like in 3rd grade when I had the little accident. Later!
Please hang up and try again.